here and no stresses and strains.
Until there were some.
Yes, that's it. Well, I suppose that's it. It's funny how it can swing and switch all of a sudden. And Dan Douthwaite again almost feels like he makes things happen. And Tim van der Hoogten finally got a couple to land on that and explode off that spot he's been trying to hit. And then good to see Romano Franco as well, winning a little personal battle as well and getting that stumping. So some good signs.
And Jamie McElroy, until he in his first spell bowled really nicely. Hasn't bowled his second spell yet because he's been battling an injury which he sustained at some point in this game. We don't know how serious it is. We saw him take some painkillers and do some stretching exercises to try and get himself right. He is on the field, and I'm not sure exactly when he went off. In fact, we can see him now just in front of our commentary position doing some warm-ups as the players take drinks.
Well, McElroy looks okay as far as we can see, but he's not he's not spending time with
now, just for a couple to see how he goes.
Yeah,
straight after the drinks break.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to know that now rather than later to test it out, wouldn't it? I think, and then there would be a chance to be able to rejig and try and get some maybe overs of spin through in the middle fairly soon before we kind of get into the charge at the end.
Because of the way that game went against Sussex, where Glamorgan had to bowl out Van der Hoogten and McElroy and Douthwaite quite early, or earlier than they might have liked, to try and get the wicket, particularly of Carson. Andy Gorvin ended up bowling the last over.
Yeah,
he had a fair few to defend.
He did. I think that was it was. I think he will be pretty pleased by the way he juggled that, because Franco and him were still bowling like 43rd, 44th over, which I suspect was maybe a little bit later than he might have planned. If he'd written his plan down before the game, it would have been different. Partly Tim van der Hoogten was going so well that he just went straight through, and actually that turned out to be quite important, because he was so he bowled so economically that actually it meant that it didn't matter too much that Andy Gorvin went for a few, because he thought that Van der Hoogten had done such a great job at the other end. Well, Andy Gorvin into the attack from the and that has missed everything by millimetres. Almost bowled, almost caught behind, almost stumped, but went straight over the top of off stump. That did. That has missed by a whisker.
It's a nice take from Horton, given the bounce. Not that Andy Gorvin is particularly fast, but that extra bit of bounce, he took it nicely, whipped off the bails. But Whiteman was, if anything, further back in his crease than when he started.
Yep. So I'm sure Andy Gorvin will bowl cutters and will be probably pretty expert at trying to get life out of a pitch like this. Have a number of variations and ways of releasing the ball to try and produce something from this pitch.
McElroy is definitely warming up. I wouldn't be that surprised if he's on the next over from the Slantwick Road end.
Yeah, it would seem to be a good idea just to get him back into it early, just to see how it does stand up. So that one's going to run away. Just run off the face there by George Hill, and another welcome boundary. Well, that was played it very, very late. Almost took it out of Alex Horton's gloves there. Good. Ran it off the face and enough pace to work with to beat third man, who ran round despairingly. Same shot again, doesn't time it quite as well.
In reasonable form, George Hill. He got 61 in that when Yorkshire did not get particularly close to a good target for against Hampshire. He was one of the few who stood out in that game. Does have a list A 100 and 4 first class hundreds.
Yeah, I liked him when he was bowling. Enjoyed watching him. Kind of really ran him with some real gusto. Looks like a good athlete. Tell by the way he runs in. He's quick across the ground.
Solid all-round cricketer.
Yeah.
25 years old from Keighley.
Do I just hear a slight hint of your accent re-emerging? Talking about Yorkshire. Is it?
I never really had much of one, to be fair, but occasional twangs.
Keithley. I thought maybe heard this as a slight hint, as you said, Keithley. Doncaster, say a few of the names, I'm sure it'll re-emerge.
Occasional little half vowels. And with that, I leave you in the hands of Ashley Crowther and Andrew Davis.
So, 94 for 4 after 26 overs. And